Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from The Federalist dated August 5th. And this says, Poll, majority of voters believe Obama's deep state committed crimes in Russiagate. And I think this is coming out that it almost goes without saying that this did in fact happen. So let's get into the article. It says more than 2/3. Oh, I didn't realize it was that many. More than 2/3 of likely voters surveyed in the Rasmussen Report survey said there must be consequences for crimes committed in the scandal. And of course there should be. Otherwise, what are we doing here and why do we have a country if the people that did bad things to it are not going to be held accountable? So it says, in the wake of bombshell declassified documents showing the Obama White House and deep state players manufacturing the intelligence report that jump-started the Russia collusion hoax, a new poll finds a majority of Americans believe President Barack Obama's national security team committed crimes. More than 2/3, or 69%, nice, of likely voters in a Rasmussen Report telephone and online survey, said there must be consequences for crimes committed against the Russiagate, or crimes committed against the Russiagate scandal. Crimes committed in the Russiagate scandal. It says the poll of 1,172 likely voters asked respondents, do you agree or disagree with the statement that about the manipulation of intelligence in the Obama administration? That statement was, accountability has to take place. It is critical for the survival of our country that people who perpetrate such crimes are held accountable. I mean, the answer should obviously be yes. It says, and 54% believe it's likely that members of former President Barack Obama's national security team committed crimes when they manipulated and manufactured intelligence to promote a false narrative about Russia and President Donald Trump. That number includes 37% who said it is very likely crimes were committed. It's a decent amount. So the poll found 41% who don't think it's likely crimes were committed by Obama administration officials, including 28% who say it's not at all likely. I like how the narrative is actually like, or that, not the narrative, but like the proof is actually out there and they're like, no, we don't think it's likely that it happened. So it says the poll was released following revelations about the machinery behind the Russia collusion hoax, the debunked deep state and Democratic Party-driven narrative that the Trump campaign colluded with the Kremlin in the political outsider's 2016 victory over bitter, failed Democrat candidate Hillary Clinton. That's a good way of putting it, is bitter. It says reams of classified documents unsealed and released by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has shown light on deep state leaders directed by then-President Barack Obama, ignoring warnings from career intelligence community professionals. The records show then-CIA Director John Brennan, DNI James Clapper, then FBI Director James Comey, and their minions instead using or manufacturing egregiously bad evidence and assembling the bastardized intelligence community assessment that set in motion the FBI's politically driven crossfire hurricane investigation. Last week, Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, released released the Durham Annex, the once secret appendix to Special Counsel John Durham's report on the Russia collusion hoax. The annex shows the FBI had intelligence that Hillary Clinton and her presidential campaign advisors worked to generate the fake narrative that then-presidential candidate Donald Trump was colluding with Russia in an attempt to distract people from her own missing emails, Grassley wrote Monday in a press release. And this isn't last week from the time you're listening to this, but last week from the time that the article was written. So, just so you know. So this would be like 2 weeks ago from the time you hear it. So it says, once again, the FBI failed to fully investigate this evidence and ultimately used the discredited Steele dossier to investigate Trump, the Iowa Republican said, referring to the bogus opposition research paid for by the Clinton campaign and used by investors to launch their infamous investigation. It says, combined, the records point to a plot by the Democrat-controlled White House and deep state henchmen to interfere in the 2016 election and undercut the duly elected Republican president and his first administration. It seems like they did get handcuffed, so it did its job. So it says it won't get duped again. Is that the name of a Who song? Obviously, I'm being facetious. But it says, on Monday, Attorney General Pam Bondi directed a federal prosecutor to take evidence to a grand jury relating to an alleged conspiracy to tie then-2016 candidate Donald Trump to the country of Russia, Fox News reported. It's all very problematic for Obama and crew, and for the Trump-hating accomplice media that eagerly pushed out the lies they were being spoon-fed. It always makes me think of Rachel Maddow and her Russia, and you can go look up on YouTube. They have a clip or it's not a clip, it's a video of her just saying over and over, Russia, 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 Russia. That's basically what it was. And turns out she was completely wrong about the whole thing. It says even more disturbing for Democrats is that it's not just Republicans who are concerned. The poll shows 56% of Democrats are following the investigation, 32% believe serious crimes were committed, and 59% agree the perpetrators must be held accountable, wrote New York Post columnist Miranda Devine in a piece on the Rasmussen poll published over the weekend. The respective Republican comparison is 75%, 83%, and 86%. A report by Tim Graham, executive editor of the Media Research Center's Newsbusters, found that the broadcast news networks devoted more than 2,284 minutes to Russiagate coverage during Trump's presidency, but ignored or downplayed recent disclosures from Gabbard showing the Obama administration may have framed Trump. Devine said the Rasmussen survey demonstrates the impotence of Democrat allied media like the New York Times, Washington Post, ABC, NBC, and CBS, which showered themselves with praise and Pulitzer Prizes for their since-debunked stories about Russiagate and are hoping their audience is willing to be duped again. It says, but like the boy who cried wolf, no one is listening anymore, Devine wrote. And that is the end of the story. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Obama and his crew committed crimes? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.